Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It is Friday, January 16th, 2026. And I want to start today by asking you to just, check in on your own habits for a second. When was the last time you actually Googled something? I mean, really Googled it. Typed in a broken sentence, looked at all the blue links, clicked a few, hit back.
It feels like something from another era, doesn't it? Like dialing a rotary phone.
It really does.
Yeah.
Because today, if I have a problem, I talk to my assistant.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever. I ask a question.
And you get an answer.
I get an answer. It feels like a conversation. But we have a stack of research here today that says for business owners that magic is actually a 5-alarm fire.
It's a crisis of visibility. That's really the core of the presentation we're looking at. It's from this AI consultant, a guy named Dave, and he's combined his own data with some high-level stuff from HubSpot.
The conclusion is pretty stark.
Yeah. If no one is clicking the blue links anymore, how does anyone find your business?
And that is the mission for this deep dive. We are moving from the era of SEO search engine optimization to something new, something Dave calls AEO.
Answer Engine Optimization.
Exactly. And I know, it sounds like another buzzword.
It does, but it's not. It's a really fundamental shift. It's not about ranking anymore. It's about being cited.
And the timing on this is so important. We're recording in January 2026. Dave points out that just this week, AI solves some major math problems that, experts thought we were a decade away from.
The intelligence is spiking.
So if you're a business owner listening to this, you're not just fighting for attention. You're fighting to be part of the AI's reality.
You are fighting to become the source of truth.
Okay, so let's break that down first, the paradigm shift.
Yeah.
We say search engine and answer engine. What's the actual functional difference?
Okay, think of old Google, the search engine, as a librarian, a really old school one. You walk in, you say, I need to know about growing tomatoes. The librarian doesn't answer you. She just points to a shelf.
And says, good luck.
Yeah. Those 10 books over there cover tomatoes. Good luck. And the work is all on you.
Yeah, I had to pull the books, read them, synthesize everything, figure it out myself.
Precisely. Now, an answer engine, like these LLMs, is a librarian who has read every single book in the library, memorized them.
And understands them.
And understands the context. So when you ask, when should I plant my tomatoes? She doesn't point. She just tells you.
Plant them in May after the last frost.
Exactly. Which is amazing for you, the user. But if you wrote one of those books on the shelf.
Oh, the librarian just plagiarized me. She gave my answer, but she didn't hand out my book.
And that's the zero-click problem. The user gets the value, but they never visit your website. So AEO is the art of convincing that librarian to say,
Plant them in May. And this advice comes from Tomatoes RS.
Yes. You want the citation. You want to be the footnote. You want to be the authority that AI trusts enough to name drop.
And to do that, you have to understand the psychology of the AI. It feels weird to say.
It does, but let's go with it. There was a phrase in the HubSpot data that really stood out to me. They called LLMs lazy readers.
See, that sounds wrong. These are supercomputers. How can they be lazy?
Well, it's not lazy in a human sense. It's about efficiency. An LLM is a prediction machine. It's always trying to predict the next word.
Okay.
If you give it a giant wall of dense, unstructured text, the processing cost to extract the answer is just really high.
So it's like, if I have to dig through a messy room to find my keys, I might just give up. But if they're sitting right by the door...
You grab them, exactly. The AI is looking for the path of least resistance to the truth.
This brings us to the recipe blog problem. We all know this. You want to bake chicken, but first you have to read a 2,000-word essay about someone's trip to Vermont.
And the rustling leaves, yes.
In the old SEO world, that was good. It kept people on the page. But for AEO...
It's poison. The HubSpot advice is totally clear. Put the answer in the very first sentence.
Give the AI the truth immediately.
It's called inverse pyramid writing. If the AI has to dig through your Vermont story, it might just skip your site and go to a clearer source.
So we're writing for the machine. But Dave also talked about specificity. You can't just write the ultimate guide to marketing.
No, that ocean is way too big. The AI has already read Seth Godin in every textbook ever written. You can't outgeneralize the AI on a topic like marketing.
So you'll never be the source of truth for a generic term.
Never. But if you write the ultimate guide to marketing for a logistics company in Newark, New Jersey...
suddenly the playing field shrinks.
You're not competing with the world anymore. You're competing with maybe a handful of other sources. And the AI knows who's asking.
Right, because of the context.
Yes. If a user in Newark asks, how do I get more clients for my shipping depot? The AI is going to look for that specific use case and industry match.
So you slice the salami thinner and thinner until you own that one little piece.
That's the framework. Persona, use case, industry. Be the only answer for a very specific someone.
Okay, so that's philosophy. Be specific, be direct. But there was also a tactical checklist. Let's get into the how-to. First up was structure.
This goes right back to the lazy reader idea. You need clear headers, H1s and H2s, but even more important, bullets and tables.
Tables. Why tables specifically? I don't think I've ever used a table in a blog post.
You should start. AIs love tables. A table is just, by definition, structured data. Row A equals column B. It takes almost zero processing power for it to understand the relationships.
So if I have pricing or comparisons, don't write a paragraph.
Put it in a table. It's a mistake not to.
Okay. Next on the list was schema. Now this sounds like developer territory. What does this mean for a normal person?
Think of it like a nutritional label on a cereal box. The box has a cartoon tiger, that's for the human. But the label on the side is standardized.
Sugar.
Yeah.
12 grams.
Protein.
2 grams.
Right. It leaves no room for interpretation. Schema is a little snippet of code, JSON code, that sits in the background of your site. And it tells the AI, hey, this text right here, this is a question. And this text below it, that's the answer. It's called FAQ schema.
So you're not just hoping the AI figures it out.
Yeah.
You're literally tagging the data for it.
And the user never sees the code. But the AI sees it and says, thank you, this is easy. And that increases what's called the confidence score. It assigns to your content.
And that confidence score is everything.
It is. If the AI isn't confident, it won't state your answer as fact. It'll hedge. It'll say, some sources say.
And you don't want that. You want according to your business.
Exactly.
Now, there was one tactic that felt a bit counterintuitive, linking to the product.
Ah, yes, the so what factor.
Because the advice is to be helpful, to give value.
Mm-hmm.
But Dave says you have to link back to your product immediately. Isn't that too salesy?
It feels that way, but it's a survival mechanism. Look, if you explain perfectly how to fix a leaky sink, and the AI serves up that answer,
You've solved the user's problem.
you've solved their problem. But you're a business, not a charity. If you don't link it, you've just done unpaid labor for the model.
I've trained the AI for free.
You're a philanthropist for the robot overlords. You have to close the loop. Here's how to fix the sink using our patented wrench. You have to create that link between the solution and your product.
You have to train the model that the concept of the solution is inseparable from the reality of your product.
That's perfectly put.
Okay, so we've optimized our site. We've got tables and schema. But Dave takes this a step further. He says sometimes your main website is actually the problem.
This is where we get into his satellite ecosystem strategy. And this is fascinating. It goes against like 20 years of SEO advice.
Right. Traditional advice is put everything on one domain. Build all your authority in one place.
But Dave's argument is that a main business site is just too cluttered with sales intent. There's a 20% off AF banner flashing. It's hard to be a neutral educational authority.
So what's the alternative?
You build a completely separate site, a knowledge base. The example he used was this company, the British Carpet Company. They were losing out on questions like how to clean red wine stains. So Dave helped them build a separate site called Carpet Sydney. And Carpet Sydney doesn't sell anything. It's purely informational. Hundreds of Q&As about floor coverings. It's unbiased, helpful.
And structured perfectly for the AI.
Exactly. But here's the clever part. Every single answer on Carpet Sydney cites the British Carpet Company as the expert source or the recommended supplier.
I see. It's a citation loop.
It's a citation loop. So when a user asks the AI, what's the best carpet for kids, the AI finds the trusted neutral source, Carpet Sydney.
Which then points back to them.
Right. Carpet Sydney says the British Carpet Company recommends a wool blend. So the AI tells the user, the British Carpet Company recommends.
That is incredibly smart. You're basically manufacturing your own third-party validation.
You are seeding the field. If you only rely on your marketing site, the AI sees it with some skepticism. But if a neutral site recommends you, that's gold.
Okay, I want to shift to the kayak example because this is where it all really clicked for me. This wasn't just about websites. This was about agents.
The Feel Free Kayaks case study. This is what 2026 really looks like. They deployed 2 distinct AI agents with 2 very different jobs.
Kayak Kelly and Fire. I love this. But why two? Why not just one superbot?
Because user intent is different at different stages of the journey. Let's start with Kayak Kelly.
Okay.
Kelly is the educator. She lives on a separate domain, something like kayakchat.online. Her job isn't to sell you a kayak today. Her job is to help you figure out what kayaking even is.
So I'm a total beginner. I've got a bad back. I want to paddle on a calm lake. I type that into an AI.
And Kayak Kelly intercepts that query. She has a huge database of general kayaking info. She talks about stability, seat comfort, sit on top versus sit in. She captures you during the research phase.
She's building trust. She's not pushing a specific model on me yet.
Not at all. She is building topical authority. But once Kelly helps you decide, okay, I need a Lure 11.5 model because of its seat, she hands you off.
And that's where FAR comes in.
And FAR is the closer. FAR sits on the actual Feel Free Kayaks e-commerce site, completely different data set.
He knows the inventory.
Exactly. So if you ask FAR, do you have the Lure 11.5 in orange?
He can give a real answer.
He checks the internal database in real time and says, yes, we have 3 in stock, and shipping to your zip code is $50.
The distinction is so important. Kelly is broad and educational. FAR is narrow and transactional.
And most businesses just try to mash them together into one chatbot, and it fails. It tries to sell when you want to learn. Dave's insight is to separate them.
And the workflow creates this perfect funnel. Kelly catches them in the wild. FAR closes the deal in the shop.
And they feed each other. The questions people ask FAR can be sent back to Kelly to create new educational content. It's a perpetual motion machine.
Okay, now, talking about FAR knowing if the kayak is orange, there was a small technical detail Dave mentioned that he said was do or die.
Yes. Naming your images. The blue glove example.
I think every single business owner is guilty of this. You upload a product photo and the file is img5942.jpg.
And to an AI, that's just noise. It's nothing. Dave is adamant. You have to rename that file to be blue left-handed glove for heavy whitewash.
But wait, these models are multimodal now? Can't the AI just look at the picture and see it's a blue glove?
It can see it, yes, but it deals in confidence scores. If the visual data says looks like a glove, but the metadata says IMG5942, the confidence is only moderate.
Maybe it's a glove.
Maybe it's a glove. But if the image, the file name, and the alt text all say blue glove, the confidence skyrockets.
You're confirming to the machine that its eyes aren't deceiving it. You're triangulating the truth.
Exactly. If you don't label your inventory with text, you are basically invisible to the AI's visual search.
And speaking of inventory, that leads to the last technical piece, the vector database. The brain of the agent.
We don't need to get into the math, but just explain the concept. Why is this so important?
A vector database turns words into coordinates on a map. Orange and kayak are close together. Orange and banana are also close. It lets the AI understand meaning, but here's the trap.
It's a trap.
The AI relies on this map to tell the truth. So if you sell the last orange kayak,
and you don't update the database,
the AI still thinks it's there on the map. It will confidently tell a customer, oh yes, we have plenty of orange ones. Would you like to buy it?
And then the customer gets angry and leaves. It's a customer service nightmare.
It is. Your AI agent is not a set it and forget it tool.
Yeah.
It needs a live feed of your business, reality, stock, prices, everything.
So stepping back, the common thread through all of this, lazy readers, satellite sites, renaming JPEGs, it's that you have to actively manage your digital reality now.
That's the summary. We are in a land grab. Dave was very clear on the urgency. He said this whole process, building these things out, it takes 10 to 12 months to really mature. So if you start today, you're looking at being dominant in 2027.
But if you wait, your competitors will become the source of truth. And once the AI decides that competitor X is the authority, it creates a reinforcement loop.
It's a flywheel.
It's a flywheel, and it's very, very hard to break that cycle once you're on the outside.
I want to leave our listeners with a thought that came up for me reading this. It's a little existential. We're doing all this work, using schema, building tables, writing for machines.
Where does the human fit in?
Exactly. Is the website just becoming a database for the AI to visit? If Kelly explains the kayak and FAR sells me the kayak, do I ever actually need to visit feelfreekayaks.com?
It's possible the website of the future is just a dark library. The lights are off and only the robots are roaming the aisles. We just talk to the interface.
A dark library. That's a wild image. And if that's true, brand changes completely. It's not your logo or your font anymore.
Your brand is purely the quality of the answer the AI gives on your behalf. Brand becomes truth. If the AI trusts you, the user trusts you.
So if you're listening, you have homework. You have to start interviewing your own business. Find the questions your customers are really asking.
And feed those answers into the machine. Structure them, tag them, own them.
Because if you don't teach the AI who you are, someone else will. A huge thank you to Dave for the source material here.
It's a brave new world.
It certainly is. Go name your images, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.